Lucas on his first national event win. Yeah! At the finish line stripe, it is going to be Steve Harker. Here comes the Lucas Oil champion. They're set, they're ready. Out of the gate, here we go.
The Rocket Express back on track.
He never looked back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon, or whatever time zone it is you happen to be on. Glad to have you all here, and welcome to our 2008 Lucas Oil Awards presentation. I want to welcome everybody here, friends, families, all of our winners and our champions, and it's been another great season, the Lucas Oil drag racing year. Before I forget, I'm supposed to remind everybody that's coming up on stage of two things. There's one set of stairs. They're over there at the right-hand side of the stage, at least my right, over there. And anybody that leaves their check up here, the check then goes to the Retired Drag Racing Announcers Fund. And we're not telling you twice, okay? Because if you look around the room, there are a lot of old drag racing announcers here. Not that, yeah, I know. I was being easy. Hey, look, I'm the head of the group, so. But just remember, one set of stairs over here. And again, at the end of the evening, when we have all the winners presented, we'd like everybody to come back up on stage for a group photograph, and we appreciate that. And with that, we'd just like to welcome you all here. And we'd like to acknowledge some of the members from the National Hot Rod Association who are here with us today, our board of directors, and some people that you're very familiar with because you come in contact with them at a lot of the races, and others that work behind the scenes. So if they would please just stand up as I acknowledge them. Mr. Dick Wells, the board member, one of the great supporters of the National Hot Rod Association, down here. Graham Light, our senior vice president of operations and an NHRA board member. Mr. Peter Clifford, the Executive Vice President and General Manager and also a board member. Gary Darcy, the Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Linda Louie, our Vice President and General Counsel. Adrian Ritter, the Vice President of Publications. Adrian's the one, by the way, when you want to tell her how much you really enjoy reading the Bobtails column in National Dragster, she's the one you can pass those comments on to. If you don't like reading the Bobtails column, then just forget that I announced her. And we'd like to introduce John Siragusa, our Senior Director of Sales and Business Development. So nice to have all of them here with us. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce the President of the National Hot Rod Association, Mr. Tom Compton.
Thanks, Bob. I'd like to join Bob in welcoming all of you to the NHRA Lucas Oil Lucas Oil Awards Ceremony, excuse me, that's later. I got two to do tonight. Anyway, Each year I talk a lot about the folks at Lucas Oil, especially Forrest and Charlotte, who really make all this possible. And quite honestly, it's a very special relationship. I talked about that last year, but it's easy to talk about them because their passion and commitment is second to none, and it's very different than just about any relationship we have out there. This year's example of that is real easy. I mean, they live and breathe drag racing in everything they do, no matter if it's unrelated to drag racing. They exhibit it in all their actions. This year, they put their name on a beautiful new stadium in Indianapolis, Lucas Oil Stadium. Those of you who've seen it know what I'm talking about. It's something else. But this is the NFL. This is football. It's not drag racing. But it is if you go to Lucas Oil Stadium. You walk in, the main entrance, I think they have a plaza there that overlooks the football field that's something like 50,000 square feet of space. It's a shrine to NHRA drag racing, literally. There's an arch of Top Fuel dragsters, Charlotte's dragsters there, the Funny Car Cafe. There's an engine display where they take apart the engine. It's hanging by little strings. It goes on and on. It's unbelievable, and exposing a whole new audience to the sport of drag racing. But that's what they do, because that's who they are. And it reminds me a lot of our founder, Wally Parks, who in his actions lived and breathed the passion and commitment of drag racing, and that's what you guys remind me of. So thank you very much. We couldn't do it without you guys. Appreciate it. I'd like to introduce, like you to hold your applause until we introduce all of them, but these guys are the guys that make it happen out in the field. We don't see them all the time. They're out there on weekends during the week. They travel long distances, not always in a plane, but by themselves in the car. And they're the ones that really execute this series and make it really work the way that it does. It's a very well-oiled machine, and that's NHRA's division directors. So I'd like to introduce them. Hold your applause, then we'll recognize them as they should be recognized at that point. From Division 1, Bob Lang. Could you stand up, Bob? From Division 2, Bill Holt. Stay standing, Bob, please. Division 3, Jay Hullinger. Division 4 down in Texas, Craig Hutchinson. Division 5, Rob Park. Division 6, Jonathan Adams. And last but not least, in Division 7, Mike Rice. Let's give him a round of applause. But tonight's about you, the champions that are here tonight. Congratulations. I know it takes a tremendous amount of hard work, perseverance, commitment, and skill to be an NHRA Lucas Oil champion, and you guys should be very proud of yourselves. I also know it takes a great support group, family members, friends, your crew, to help get you here. And I want to also recognize and congratulate all the people that supported these champions to make them champions. So let's give them a round of applause tonight as well. On behalf of everyone in NHRA, our board of directors, the management team, just everyone, we're very committed to this series, and I just want you guys to enjoy the evening, and once again, congratulations. Thank you.
My only hope is that he left his check up here, because that'd be a good thing. Tom, we'd like to thank you very much for following directions. As it may, Bob Lang was the only one that got applause for the division directors there, but because nobody was listening to directions. But I'm glad that they don't listen to you, Tom, either. They don't listen to me. So we're bonding here tonight. So he really is. It's interesting when he talked about the division directors, by the way, before I bring up Forrest Lucas. A lot of the racers never really understand the time, the effort, the work that the division directors and their crews put in. But it's also interesting to watch the passion that they display, whether it's this past weekend when the division teams were here running for the Summit Racing ET Series or out at the JEGS All-Star Championship. The division directors really do take a lot of pride in you, the racers, and it's something I think that goes without being said a lot of times, and I'm not sure that a lot of the racers really do appreciate it, but the people that were introduced tonight as the division directors really are very passionate about what they do, and they love the racers, and they certainly do take a lot of pride in having racers come up win the national championships, win the divisional championships, and be part of their little families as well. So I want to also thank very much the division directors for what they do, and I want to tell you on their behalf to the racers out there that they really do care a lot about the racers and take a lot of pride when somebody from their division gets a chance to come up and stand up here on stage. Next up, we'd like to introduce a man that makes this all possible, along with his great company and his wife, Charlotte. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Forrest Lucas.
Lousy directions, Bob. Thank you very much, and I want to thank Tom Compton for all those wonderful things he said. But we did build a shrine there to motorsports, highlighting drag racing, because drag racing is such a big part of our life. And wherever I go, I'm recognized for being part of drag racing. I want to introduce some of the people from our company. Can you girls stand up? Tom, a lot of you guys know Tom Bugner here. Stand up, just take a second here. We got, and your wife. Come on, girls. Charlotte. I want to tell you, these people work in drag racing. You know, we spend a lot of time and a lot of money. By these two girls are single here. Are you single guys? Aren't you pretty? But Morgan, I'd like to have my son Morgan and Charlotte come up here with me for a second if we could. I mean, this is the family that started all this. So I want you guys to see this as a family. Yeah, Bob, give better directions this time. I can high step better than she can. Yeah. This whole involvement was around these two guys right here. They love drag racing so much, and it was up to me to turn it into a business so they could be part of it. Honest to God. And when Morgan moved up to the pro ranks, it was kind of like, we don't want to not be part of that anymore. Charlotte wanted to be part of it. We all wanted to be part of it. So we got Sean Langdon, Eddie Fishley, two of the best drag racers in the country right here in the room with us that actually live in my house. Yeah, they keep an eye on it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they're my watchdogs when we're away, which is most of the time anymore. But you know, this is it's a great honor to be part of you guys. You know, pro racing is one thing. You know, we're involved in a lot of kinds of racing anymore, lots and lots of things. But Charlotte, this girl loves you guys more than anybody can love drag racing right here. I think it's time for my little boy to start learning to take his daddy's place in some of these things like this, because it's happening a lot more. Morgan, can you come over and say a couple of words to these guys?
Surprise.
Well, actually, I had no idea I was going to be talking from you guys tonight, so hopefully I don't embarrass myself. So I got to say, my dad, he's laid a lot of groundwork for me to hopefully someday fill some shoes. And my mother, I mean, does she look great tonight? She does. And my honest opinion, the Sportsman Series is really what drag racing is all about. I mean, it's where all the drivers of the future come from. It's where I learned to race. And to be honest with you, if I could go back to sportsman racing, I would do that any day. I've raced with Sean in my mom's car a few times this year with Charlotte on the side of it, and I really didn't feel too manly. But, you know, honestly, Sean's I can't say enough about that guy. He's a great racer. He understands these cars more than anybody knows. He's very competitive. And guys like Frank Manzo, I mean, you can't trade that kind of hard work and knowledge in for anything. I mean, these guys, they put it all in there, and it just goes to show what sportsman racing is all about and why Lucas Oil's involved in it. we put so much into this because we know this is where racing motorsports is, and this is where our company started, is from the bottom and works its way up, and then this is why we're doing this. We love this sport, and we want to continue to be involved with it. Thank you.
Not bad for his first time, huh? Well, all you guys, all you champions, I understand we have five guys who come back for a second time. Frank Manzo, yeah, you know he's coming back. You know, that's no big deal. Sean Langdon, driving Lucas Oil car, second, back-to-back, first time that's happened. But I'm just really, really proud of you guys. And most of all, let me say that every year, I can't help it, I look at the way the ladies are dressed. I think I commented on this last year because I know how much Charlotte worries about having the right clothes on. Did I wear that before, you know? And I must say, all you ladies are gorgeously dressed tonight. Thank you very much.
The only line I got out of that is we spend a lot of money and these girls are single. That's all I said. I was walking downtown today and a couple of single girls asked me if I had money. I don't know if that's the same thing or not, but I don't know where Forrest was going with that. There'll be applications. You'll be getting resumes tomorrow, Forrest. We want to work. Good-looking girls and money. It's two great things. So. Before we introduce you to our first champion, we'd just like to take a moment to look back at the 2008 season. I always want to tell you, when the video is made, there were literally thousands of racers that competed that accumulated points. I think I was telling Forrest a little while ago, just in the Super Gas and Super Com classes alone, there were over 1,000 drivers in each class that scored points this year, either on the divisional or the national levels. We tried to put together a little synopsis of the racing season. A lot of times it includes a lot of our champions, but it also includes a lot of the other races that participated. One of these years, we're going to have a video that's going to include every guy that raced during the course of the year. The show will last 3 days, but at least we'll get everybody on there. So, having said that, let's take a look quickly at some of the highlights of 2008 in the Lucas Oil drag racing season.
on his first national event win. Yeah!
At the finish line stripe, it is going to be Steve Harker. Here comes the Lucas Oil champion. set, they're ready. Out of the gate, and here we go.
The Rocket Express back on track.
He never looked back.
Congratulations to everybody, and it really was a great season. And now we're going to introduce you to the 2008 Lucas Oil World Champs. Can we get any more lights up here on the stage, please? Just that old age announcer thing I was telling you about. There are just so many great stories in this class, and we're going to begin with our Super Gas champion. As Forrest mentioned, there are 5 drivers who repeated as champions this year, some for more than a second time. There are also 2 drivers in the room here tonight who won for the first time, and it's got to be quite a treat for them. Now, this driver was leading the points for a long way during the course of the 2008 season and then decided to just come out west, let the chips fall where they may. So they came out along with the family, flew out here on Saturday, came out to Southern California, got out to Pomona, did a couple of things that normal families would do, went to spend some time out there at the racetrack, schmoozed with a few of the other racers that he knew, went over to the NHRA Motorsports Museum, spent some time, and then most importantly, drove through the In-N-Out Burger in Southern California because you don't have them back east. He's got a 13-year-old son whose name is Chase, which I just think is a great name for anybody involved in the sport of drag racing. It's not as cool a name as, hey, we're out in front all the way and they never caught us, but that's a little bit long. We'd like to wish him happy 13th birthday. His 13th birthday, by the way, was this past weekend. Actually, said, what would you like for your birthday? He said, well, Dad, I'd like you to win the Lucas Oil World Championship. Dad won the Lucas Oil World Championship on his son's birthday, which begs the question, what's he do next year? Because that's one tough act to follow, let me tell you. It's a very good season for this driver, having competed for quite some time and going the distance and winning at the Gator Nationals, divisional wins down in Richmond and Atlanta, and a tribute to him, his entire family, for the great stick-to-itiveness during the course of the year and to hold off over 1,200 other racers in the Super Gas category and to come out and sit here and watch this weekend. When your fate is out of your hands, all you can do is sit and watch, wish your kid happy birthday, and enjoy a double-double. Ladies and gentlemen, our Super Gas Lucas Oil champion, first-timer from Parrish, Florida, Brian Forrester.
Sure, I get a rookie up here first. The last time I had to sit and talk in front of a bunch of people, I think I was a sophomore in high school in public speaking class, and I got an F in that, so bear with me here. First off, I'd like to thank, oh, it's a terrible picture. I'd like to thank everybody at the NHRA, from the guys that park you when you get there on Wednesday or Thursday to the guys that help you in the water box. They're all a big help. Lucas Oil, obviously. I think I'm the only car in the pits that doesn't have a sponsorship from Lucas Oil, but maybe we can work on that. This might help. You know, during the course of the year, obviously you have to have a little bit of luck, and the way this year's gone, I'm not sure there wasn't a little divine intervention involved with that too, because if I sat here and told some stories about a couple of the lucky breaks that we had, some of you guys wouldn't believe it. It was incredible. Manzo, Fletch, you want to come up here and finish this for me? Because I'm not doing real good. But you starting out with the manufacturers that have helped me over the years. Kevin Kleinweber and Jim Hughes over at Hughes Performance. Carolyn Ashby and Brent Fisher at Goodyear Competition Tire South. We even tested a new development tire for him this summer. First division race I went to with the new tire on it, we ended up winning it, so it's working out pretty well. Got to put a big shout out to the guys over at Brodick Cylinder Heads. Greg Brotherton was very an important factor in helping me get the combination sorted out. He told me this is the converter you need. We traded out on a motor that I didn't even want to put in the car because I thought it was going to be too fast, and in retrospect, you know, it ended up being a real good combination. Then you start, you know, thanking the people that you're real close to, and I've got a friend out here from New Jersey that I raced with going way back when we first started, Jimmy Fordyce. He flew out, you know, I've got my brother here. He doesn't get to too many races anymore, but he made it out here for this for the race and for the banquet. So it's real nice to have him here. My daughter Kaylee and my wife Robin couldn't make the trip. Wish they were here to kind of make this complete. My mom, she had to stay home too, but she provided us with a limo and a bottle of champagne we have on our table over there that hopefully we'll put to good use here in a little while. Chase, my good luck charm. He's been to 2 races in the last 2 years, and Joliet, last year he was there and we won it, and he came to Gainesville this year and we won it. So, you know, if I got to pull you out of school and come to the races full time, you know, at college, we can do that later, but, and then of course my mom and dad, like I said, I wish my mom was here. She quit going to the races a few years ago because, I mean, if you knew my mom, she's a nervous wreck. I mean, she can't hardly watch, and when she does, she just freaks out and kind of, we don't even act like we know her. But I wish she could be here for this. And then, of course, the only reason I'm up here in the first place is my dad, Larry. Going back, my earliest childhood memories are, boy, he took me to Indy first time when 1969, and we just sat up in those stands, you know, 24/7 for 3 days and watched every car go down the track, and we haven't missed a year since then. We're going on 42, 43 years in a row that I've been to that race. Of course, losing 2 finals there, he keeps reminding me, you know, that's a big heartbreak for him. I get over it quick, but he still reminds me just about every. Hopefully this will make up for it a little bit. I don't know if it'll ease all the wounds, but this was totally unexpected. I thought for sure that, you know, going into the last couple races that somebody was going to do something to pass us, and the way it worked out, it's still a shock to me, and I still can't believe I'm standing up here mumbling, stumbling on these words. But Dad, I love you. I couldn't have done this without you. And thanks to everybody else and all the other Lucas Oil champions. Congratulations, and just glad to be a part of it with you guys. Thanks.
Very nice job. Sorry to make you older than you were, Chase, but when he said he's the only guy out there without a Lucas Oil sponsorship, now you know what to ask for your 13th birthday. Okay. And I saw him perk up when he said, you know, any mom that'll send a limo and champagne, you got to love mom, but Chase, you can drive in the limo, but lay off the champagne, okay? 13, but very, very nice job. Nice to see the Fordyce, the entire Fordyce family, by the way, great racers from our neck of the woods, too. It's nice to see those relationships. Brian used to live up in our neck of the woods, and I mean, but great to have him. Congratulations there. And no driver should ever apologize for getting up here and speaking, because if you ever seen me drive, you know, you talk about an F, I'm trying to work my way up to the F category, you know, so, but congratulations, Mark, very nicely done. Our Super Comp champ is an amazing story. You heard Forrest Lucas already mentioned that this driver's won it in back-to-back years in the entire history of the Super Comp class. That has never happened before. Very few guys have actually gone and won 2 times in the Super Comp category. This driver is another second-generation racer, and it used to be, hey, aren't you Chad's son? And now, of course, in the family, it's, hey, aren't you Sean's dad? it's amazing how things change when kids continue to go well. This driver won the national event down there in Houston this season and went to 4 divisional finals, won 3 of them. Also went to the finals in 2 classes at one national event, one divisional event, including Super Comp and Super Gas, just in case that 890 stuff doesn't work out. He's working on the 990 class as well. Also won the Division III championship this season. A second-time winner carrying the Lucas Oil colors into battle, now residing out of Avon, Indiana. Ladies and gentlemen, second-time Super Comp Lucas Oil World Champion, Sean Langdon.
Ago, if you would have told me I'd be standing in this position right now, 2-time Super Comp champion, I would have thought you were crazy. You know, when I grew up, my dream was to be a baseball player, and after '97, when I was fortunate enough to win the Junior Dragster National Championship, I quickly switched my focus to wanting to race cars, follow my dad's footsteps, and fortunately, with a lot of help, I've been able to fulfill a big dream of mine and become a full-time racer in the Sportsman Series, and with the help of Forrest Lucas and Charlotte Lucas and Morgan, you know, I'm able to do that and race pretty much almost every single weekend of the year. And it's really mind-boggling to have a place in the history books of being the first 2-time champion or back-to-back champion. You know, you think of people in the, you know, like Manzo and Fletcher and those guys. I mean, I grew up idolizing those guys, you know, sitting there waiting until Friday to get my National Dragster to read about those guys and how good they really are, and to be up on stage with guys like that, as well as all the other champions this year, is a great honor, and I'm just really glad to be a part of it. As you guys know, there's no way to do this without sponsors and people that help you, and there have been a lot of people that have helped me get to where I'm at, so kind of got a little bit of a list here, but Western Stabilization, Dynatech, AFCO, Autometer, Diamond Pistons, Hoosier Tire, CSR Products, Number One Stop, CSS Drywall, Claysmith Cams, Jegs, K&N, Brodex Cylinder Heads, Hughes Performance. They were actually nice enough to let me drive their super gas car for probably about 8 races this year. And the Lurice family actually let me drive it on the East Coast a couple races, and trying to catch Brian, but came up a little short, about 100 points short. But Sunset Racecraft, Tracy Dennis, those guys are awesome engine builders. TNT Supercars with Tommy Phillips. You know, we kind of turned a business relationship into a really good friendship, and he's been a big part in helping me this year. You know, all my friends and family that are here tonight, you know, they give me all the support. In the middle of the season where I go 3-4 races, you know, can't go any rounds, and you get pretty upset and flustered with it, and you just, you know, kind of thinking that you can't really go any rounds anymore, and you're choking because of the points and this and that, and they're, you know, you call them up and they give you real good advice and confidence booster to be able to keep going, and fortunately I was able to do that. The biggest part of my success is Lucas Oil and the Lucas family. They've been there, and from day one of the Super Comp stuff, started out with, you know, doing a little bit of oil product and this and that, and it's gone into what it is today. They let me race their A-Fuel car at a few races, and you know, learned a lot from Morgan on that, and it's a whole different deal up there than Super Comp. But you know, I really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for allowing me to fulfill my dream and to be a professional racer. Thank you.
The one thing that he mentioned is something that always impresses me. is the camaraderie between the drivers. He talks about a guy from one part of the country will go back either east or west and need a ride out there, whether it's at the All-Star race or some of the national events or divisional races, and everybody's always willing to lend a hand with their cars out there and everything. I think that's always pretty nice. I think about the only one that's never loaned his car out to anybody is Frank Manzo, and there's probably a reason for that. But Sean, maybe, hey, you guys are both Lucas Oil cars, right? How about next year? Frank Manzo goes and races Super Comp. Sean can try that alcohol drags or alcohol funny car. No, Frank's saying no, by the way, up here, so just a thought. My bad. Our next winner is another repeat champion, and I don't want to say I'm seeing a pattern develop, but this driver also has roots back in the Garden State in New Jersey, but has done another great job, and he hooked up with a gentleman this year. They formed a partnership, and as has happened in so many different classes during the year, it turned out to be very successful with this gentleman driving the car. He had just a marvelous season, racing in the national events and competing in Atlanta. Also went to a divisional race and finals in competition eliminator, and I'm seeing a pattern develop with all these drivers, everybody that's crossing over, running in the different classes. So just in case this stock thing doesn't work out for him, he's got a pretty bright future also there in the comp eliminator championship category. Won the race in 2004, the championship, the Lucas Oil World Championship, and came down to the final race on the divisional trail in Las Vegas just a couple of weeks ago. About 900 cars there. A couple of guys still had a chance to catch him. Long shots had to go to finals or come out here to Pomona and win the race, but he wound up clinching that. I think it was 3 or 4 rounds into the division race at Las Vegas, and then did like everybody in every other sport does. After you've beaten somebody, went out and spent time with them and hung out with them, went golfing with them here coming out this weekend, and that again just shows you how close the entire racing community is, especially in the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series. He's done a great job now. He's down from Perry Hall, Maryland. He is a 2-time Lucas Oil Stock Eliminator Champion of the world, Mr. Lee Zane.
Don't stop until it's live. Ride into the night. Whoa. Into the night. Be too late. Ride into the night. Whoa. Into the sun. Cloud to rain. We ride. There is no turning back. We need to win this fight. Ride into the night. We'll do whatever it takes. We'll take this to the sky. Ride with us tonight.
Need to enjoy the video a little bit there. Well, first, just like to thank my wife, Lisa. She's always there for all the love and support I could ever ask for. Championships mean so much, but they wouldn't mean a thing without you here with me. I'm saying this thing. She told me not to do that. I'm going to say it again. I will. Yep. But again, yeah, just thank you for being there. I said your love, your support. It just goes on, but whatever. I'm going to try harder, but we'll see. Sonny and April, thank you for believing in me this year, giving me a great car. Partnership has turned out into be a very good friendship, and I'm honored to be driving a car, that you have given me for, such a great car, so easy to drive. Being our first year, it was a lot to overcome, and we get into the car and we had our problems to begin with. The car just really wouldn't run at Orlando. Go to Gainesville, and after the first qualifying run, I got to call him up and tell him his engine's broke. But he's no problem. Bring it home. We'll get you going. And 3 weeks later, we're standing in a winner's circle in Atlanta. Brian, Katie, TJ, Van Poppel. The support that you always give me, you're always there for me. You're a brother-in-law, a true friend, and I said, again, I could not do this without you. You make it easier just to be a sounding board when I need you, and again, this couldn't be done without you and wouldn't want to do it without you. Tom and Jean Van Poppel, there it is again. They took me into their home and into their families, and it's just been a great relationship with them also. They're my second parents now, and I couldn't do it without them. A few sponsors I'd like to thank. Don Higgins with Crew Chief Pro Software. He's given me the information that's been gathered to help dial the car. It's just been so much easier just to instead of sitting there looking at all the weather, and it's all the information's there for me, and it just made things so much easier this year. It's just it's been a great relationship with him. I've been with him for 3 years now, and hopefully that continues. Farron Luber, Hoosier Tire, Roy with Hoosier Tire also. Bob and Joey at Advanced Automotive Concepts. It's a chassis shop that I work at. They take care of everything. That way, when I'm out playing around the country, they're there to, they're taking care of everything at home. So I can go out and do this and live a dream. Mark Lebrecht, Diamond RV. Forrest, Charlotte, Morgan. Thank you from Lucas Oil, from me to Lucas Oil. You guys give us a great series to be a part of, and it's just it's been a great year, and I'm glad I could enjoy it with the caliber of you guys as a sponsor. And boy, a little bit flustered. Didn't think it'd be this bad this time either, but I guess it doesn't get any easier. But the lighting is a little horrible. But yeah, I really can't see what I got here. But yeah, it's not an old thing either. But to go into the season, and we're lucky enough to win a couple nationals, and actually winning the national event yesterday at Pomona to finish the season off, to cap it off, along with winning the divisional last weekend. It's I told Sonny before we left, we just need 14 more rounds out of this car, and we got about 12 and a half out of it, but it was enough to get the job done. We had some lucky breaks here in the final yesterday, and car was broke, but we get the breaks when we can, and we'll take it. So. But again, Sonny and April, they gave me a great deal this year. I couldn't do it without you. It's been a dream season, and hopefully I didn't spoil you too much with all this. And with the championship, we were fortunate enough to win the division this year. We got the All-Stars locked up for next year. So again, it's thank you very much. I appreciate it. And to all the other sportsman winners out here, it's an honor to be with you guys up here with Manzo, Fletcher, Forrester, Langdon. It's just unbelievable, and thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
How long have you been married?
2 years. No good. Yeah, I said too many times.
No, I just asked him how long he's been married. He said 2 years. I said, I can just see his wife getting together with her friends. He said, yeah, he won the divisional champ. He won the Jags All-Star. He won the national championship. But he says, And her friends are going, you got to be a moron. I've been married 40 years. Let me tell you, that's the worst thing my wife could say about me. We have the same problem in our house. Like my wife and I, when we're different things, how we say things, like I'll say tomato, and she'll say, will you shut up? So it's the same. Just don't say. But it did a great job there. See, but it really is tough. So for some of the drivers that came up and have your notes up here, it really is a little tough to read some of the stuff up here. But great job. Let's give Lee Zane a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, and his wife. Our Superstock champion this year has taken a very interesting path to the Lucas Oil World Championship. I've actually watched him race for a long while. I used to watch some of the great stock and super stock races back in his neck of the woods, and always was aware that he was a very strong racer, very solid racer. He came into this year looking to win the championship, having won divisional titles, having participated in the Jags All-Star Crown, and he had done everything but win a national event. This year he went the distance. He put a lot of points up on the board in the Lucas Oil Championship and came down to, again, the Las Vegas points race and then the national, and had to hold off one guy, and a pretty good racer it was. He had to hold off Jimmy DeFrank, who's won Lucas Oil Championships before. I don't know who had the advantage in this encounter, because this driver who won the championship, his brother works on Jimmy DeFrank's car. In fact, I went and watched his brother adjusting the tire pressure in DeFrank's car before the second round this weekend. And I said to Jimmy, you got to have a lot of faith in this guy, to let him. He said, oh, we have somebody checks him when he's done. He said, so much for faith. was a really interesting combination that this gentleman could come out of Indiana, could go the distance, and again, like so many of the others, put up points on the board, made it stand up, and didn't come out and say, I'm going to go out there and try to stop the other racers. Just, I put my totals up on the board, let the chips fall where they may. And like I said, to come out of the Division III area where he's won the championship, to race in the super stock classes back there, he had great success at the divisional races, one up in Stanton, one up in Norwalk, won the Bowling Green race. And if you look at the car counts at a couple of those races, you're talking about some of the best super stock fields, quantity and quality-wise. So to go the distance there and to win the championship at those events out in the Division III area really is something. So the guy right here that I'm sure will have something to say about his brother, pro or con, we'd like to congratulate his first-time winners, 4th top 10 finish in all the years that he's been competing. Just a great racer from Charlestown, Indiana, our super stock Lucas Oil World Champion, Ricky Decker.
Show me what you got. You think you're so tough? Take your best shot. Is that all you got? If God is for us, who can be against us? Show me what you got. You think you're so hot? Take your best shot. Is that all you got? If God is for us, who can be against us? Show me what you got.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank NHRA for all their support, Lucas Oil for the series. We couldn't do it without them. I've got to thank my dad for all this. Without him, I would be nowhere in this sport. I've got to thank my lovely wife, Missy, for all her support in this. Without her, I couldn't do this. My sons, Jacob and Joshua, sorry they couldn't make it. I got to thank my brother, Steve, for all his hard work, building a great car for me, and all his help through the years. It was a tough chase going with Jimmy, and it was kind of a rough deal from Indianapolis on, but we soldiered through it. I've got to thank Mike Cowan for all his engines and all his help over the years, 20 years worth, and he's always been good to us. First of all, last of all, I've got to thank the DeFranks. I mean, they give me a car to race. Beginning of the year, I come out here and have a good outing in it. They let me drive it at Indianapolis. We had some engine problems towards the end of the year. They sent me a motor to let me use. Ends up not working out for them, but they're a great family, and I appreciate all their help. I couldn't have done it without them. I'd like to thank Dave Smith at ProTrans for all his help this year. Just a lot of good people back in Division III, for all my good friends for their support, and as you can tell, I'm a little nervous up here. I haven't had to do anything like this in quite a number of years, but thanks to everybody. It's been an unbelievable year. Thank you.
Ricky, we'd like to thank you for donating to Leo Tires Retirement Fund. Oh, we're so close, Leo, you and me, brother. It's got to be a tough deal when the guy that you're racing has your brother on his team, and you tell very emotional there, but a great racer out of the Division III area, and a pleasure always to see the new champions come up, the ones that win the Lucas Oil Championship for the first time. Our next couple of drivers are no newcomers here to winning divisional races, national events, divisional championships, and national championships. This driver had just a spectacular year, and if you take a look around the country, and if you had to put together a list of some of the drivers that you would say that pound for pound and day by day are among the best that we've ever seen in the sport, this driver would have to be there. Had some great success on both the national and the divisional level this year, winning at Pomona and Las Vegas and Sonoma. Of course, he finished up the season yesterday, just like Lee Zane did, by going the distance and capping a championship year with a big win there yesterday. Also had a couple of great runs this year in the super stock class, just in case this comp thing doesn't work out. He has had moderate success running in the stock eliminator category and super stock class as well. 3 different times this year at the national event, he went to final rounds in 2 different classes at the same national event, and that puts him into an uncharted territory as well. And he's done it about 6 times in his career, and just a sensational talent for driving. He won this season to put his total up to 56 national event wins in all the different classes in which he's competed. That puts him in the top 10 in the entire history of the National Hot Rod Association among all drivers in all classes. So that's saying something. That tells you about the talent that he has. And the good news for everybody else, His sons are starting to drive, but the really good news is that his wife isn't. So it's going to work out well. At least I don't think she is. At least not on the divisional or the national level. He also got together with a great partnership this year, driving for a gentleman that's fielded some cars for a long while out here on the West Coast. But it's always a pleasure to watch him race, whether it's in the stock, the super stock, the comp eliminator category, and even in the 90 categories for which he's had great success. There's really nothing he can't drive. There's nothing he can't win with, and it's my pleasure to add to his 2 super stock Lucas Oil World Championships a competition eliminator world championship. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Fletcher.
If 4 o'clock's up that way, I'm going that way. That's the way it is. Oh, boy. Lee's right. The lighting sucks. Okay. I am old, though, so I got to go like this. Yeah, it's not going to work, is it? That isn't. Here. There. Oh, the check works. The check's good. First off, like everyone else said, we all really need to thank, Forrest and Charlotte and Morgan. I guess I didn't realize really how much we need to thank Charlotte, apparently. Right on. if it wasn't for them, where would our Sportsman Series be? It just, thank God for you guys. Appreciate it, and can't thank you enough for everything. Really need to thank NHRA. Boy, you're right. You just can't hear. I'm going to have to go like this. Where am I here? Okay, yeah. NHRA for backing the whole Sportsman Series, providing us a safe, fair, level playing field to race on every week, divisionals, nationals, National Dragster for the coverage they give us. It's just, they do such a good job for us. Look at this deal. We're like sportsman bracket pigs, Here we are in this nice ballroom. It's really great. The whole year for me in Comp Eliminator was really pretty crazy. I don't even really know where to start. I'll try and make it quick. Rick Braun is my car owner. Ricky Barnhouse is a crew chief. My friend Sal Biondo started driving this car like 2 years ago. He couldn't keep driving it because of commitments to his guys back east, so I got the opportunity to do it. Boy, you can't read it at all. This sucks. This is pretty good. Really, it is. If I could read it, it would be all right. No, we're going to just wing it here, I guess. It worked out pretty good. We started out just trying to run some national events. The points deal was never in our wildest dreams. We never had any dreams of chasing points meets. Rick just wanted to go to some races, lives on the West Coast. We'll do Pomona and Phoenix and Vegas and whatever, and that's cool, So we went to Pomona to start the year, and we got runner-up. And it was great, and I won Super Stock, so that was really cool. And then they didn't have comp at Phoenix, but he was bored, so we went to the Phoenix Points meet. We won the race. Well, all right. Now this is pretty bitchin'. We're in good shape, So then, I don't know where we went after that, but I think I sucked a couple times. I red lighted or screwed up the finish line or whatever. But then we went to I think Fontana. We won the race. We went to Topeka, got runner up, and all of a sudden it was like, wow. We never even dreamed about it. My wife did. She actually just like busting chops said after Phoenix, you guys are going to win the championship. Yeah, right, sure. But we went to a couple races, did good. Then we went to Sonoma, and we won the national. We won the points meet, and it was like, wow, pretty much from here we got to go fill in the blanks. If I don't just totally just really drop the ball, we're in good shape. Went to Indy, stupidly took 400s index. I'm a total work in progress in Comp Eliminator. It's a whole different deal than you need a team of guys. And Rick Braun and Rick Barnhouse worked so hard on that car, and they let me just study the weather and the logbooks and try and be dialed in, and it's great. It's really good times. It's worked out really well. And so then we won a couple more races. We put our score up. There was a couple guys chasing us. Didn't know whether they'd get us or not, I really thought Bourgeois was going to probably run us down, our nearest competitor. But he had some mechanical problems. He didn't catch us. And it's just been a dream, dude. It's just been crazy. I mean, we went to like 11 final rounds or something in his car this year out of like 17 races. It was just absurd. It was stupid. I mean, it worked out. Well, I mean, seriously, it was really good, you know? I mean, it worked out really well. And I mean, for Rick, he works so hard. I mean, and he's not like some pampered foo-foo car owner guy, you know? I mean, he runs the valves and checks the springs, does all his own stuff, you know? And it just really, we run out of a little trailer, you know? I mean, it's just a lot of fun. It's been good times, and thanks to Rick and my wife Donna. I mean, she's just a nutcase that like lets me do this thing, you know? And like I say, thanks to Lucas Oil for backing the whole Sportsman series. It's awesome that they, you know, he's benevolent and takes care of the Sportsman guy. And Charlotte, I love you. You look excellent, dude. You're great. You're the man. But I need to thank personally Pinella Racing for giving us some motors that really got it done. Len Schneider Performance, Mickey Thompson and Jags and K&N. And really, I mean, back to what other people said too. Sean Langdon to win Super Comp back-to-back. I don't know. Manzo, it's great you've won like 88 times or whatever, but I mean, he won Super Comp twice in a row, dude. That's really, really good. So, nice work. All right, I'm out. Thanks. See ya.
I just thought there was a certain irony in Dan Fletcher calling anybody else a nutcase, but that could be me. It was like, for those of you by way of summary, we had absurd, stupid, sucks, and foo-foo all in one sentence. So I have no idea what he was talking about. Dude? Yeah. And all I know is Lee Zane's wife wants to talk to you, Fletcher, by the way. After that. You think saying is bad. How about that? So congratulations to Dan, I think. Just called his wife a nutcase. That's just unbelievable. It's like the one thing I'm sure that the Braun family found out, the one thing about working with Dan, who called himself a work in progress, is that when he loses a race, he's so quiet, low-key, and easy to live with, you know, so I'm sure. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry, that wasn't Dan. That was some other rational human being that we all know. But let me tell you, 3 championships, that's pretty impressive stuff, and he's also won in, you know, in the other categories. That's one driving fool, let me tell you. Foo-foo. Yeah, that's it. Our next 2 drivers have just had magnificent success. This driver's first Lucas Oil World Champion. Forrest, when did you first start your company, by the way? 1989. He won his first championship 8 years before Lucas Oil was Lucas Oil. So that's how long he's been doing this. Now, let me tell you, everybody talks about Tony Schumacher. They think he had a pretty good year, but let me tell you, he's no Frank Manzo. When it comes to guys that had great years, another perfect season on the national and divisional level, threw in a couple of extra national event wins just in case they decided to change the rules and 5 weren't enough. Put a win streak together, 46 consecutive. How many guys in here have ever won 46 straight rounds at anything? I didn't think so. Charlotte? No? But you do look wonderful, I want to tell you that. So you can be a first-round loser every time. They'll be happy with these guys, okay? And besides, you spent a lot of money on But 46 consecutive rounds is just absolutely breathtaking. I've had the pleasure to know this gentleman almost since the very first years that he started racing. He's been very, very blessed. He's a very hard worker. Works again back in the Garden States, got a real job. Actually came into play when we had some problems at Norwalk earlier this year and got on a backhoe and started helping out there as well. But he's just a tremendous racer. When you define a guy that works hard, that drives hard, that has the ultimate respect of everybody else in his class, and even other drivers who have never competed know what this man has accomplished over the course of his career. He's got a wife that's been with him by his side all these years, got a crew chief that's been with him for all of his races, and a core of racers on his team that have just been there throughout most, if not all, of his championships. And that's the key to his success. He's very loyal. He's very dedicated. Nobody works harder. Nobody's better at their craft at what they do, certainly in the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series. And in the entire sport of drag racing, I mentioned how Dan's record has put him up in the top 10 of overall wins. This driver is second only to John Force, the amount of season championships that he has won. And I say that in addition to all the national event wins that he's won. In his last 49 national event finals, by the way, he is 45-4 in his last 49 national events. So anybody wants a piece of that, you just bring it on, okay? And not to mention the fact that you win the Lucas Oil Championship by winning divisional races and the national events. He has won 98 Lucas Oil divisional races in the history of his career, and that is marvelous. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to congratulate a gentleman for 12 times is coming up now as the world champion in the top alcohol funny car class, spanning 1981 to 2008, the great Frank Manzo.
Well, Bob, you accomplished one thing tonight. You've made me feel really old here. I was going to jump up like Fletcher, but I was afraid of hurting myself there. I want to thank all my sponsors, Lucas, Jegs, GM, make it all possible. Forrest, Charlotte, and Morgan Lucas. I mean, unbelievable the support, and thank you very much what you do for all the sports and racers and me and my team, my wife. Everybody knows behind every great race team, you know, racer, there's a great team. I mean, I'm just fortunate enough to have guys, you know, every year, have been there with me every year, and my guys, I get a little down, they pick me up. Sometimes they get a little down. It's just a team effort, and at the end of the weekend, we just seem to somehow make it possible. And John and Scott and Fred, Ed, I mean, just great team, the greatest team you can have there. And my wife, Michelle, she's like the cheerleader. And I don't know how she puts up with me some of the weekends, but for her loving support, NHRA, you know, you give us a great place, safe place to race. All the division directors, they work at it. Sometimes it's a little difficult where we have to race or whatever, but they do a heck of a job. We have a great, safe place to race, and I appreciate it very much, and thank you.
Frank's wife may be the real motivating factor behind him. He's told me over the course of the years, a lot of times when he gets down a little bit after the races and, you know, maybe thinking about not running or not going to the next race, and nobody encourages him more than his wife, Michelle. So she just does a great job and everything. Nice job, Michelle. Let's give her a nice round of applause. She's a wonderful lady. My wife knows nothing about drag racing, but she does have something in common with Michelle. They both like to shop. So nice thing. Frank told me they went down to Rodeo Drive when they got here this weekend shopping and said Michelle lost all of her credit cards. And I said, well, did you call and replace them? He said, no, why should I? The guy that found them spends less than she does, so it's worked. And you're the only person, what? That has ever met my wife. That's right. We try to keep her secret. Because she yells at me because I keep going, huh? What? Nutcase. That's foo-foo, all this stuff. Our final driver has now accomplished a very rare feat in the history of our Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series, winning 3 consecutive championships in the top alcohol dragster class. Came so close yesterday to make it a 4-peat out of Pomona in the finals. Had a little problem in the final round yesterday, but he'd won that race in 2005, 6, and again in 7. When he comes out here, it's almost starting to become an annuity for him to come out and win out in Pomona. I will say, though, that he ran a 5:16 yesterday, which was the quickest run in the alcohol dragster class this year. Ran 282 miles an hour yesterday, and that's the second fastest run in the history of the class, and it's just always a pleasure to watch him race. He's been very successful over the course of the years. He's been racing for a long while. He's had great success on the divisional and national event trail. Won several national events this year, won 5 different divisional races, and did that in 3 different divisions. And I'm sure the guys in Division 1 and Division 2 were really happy when this guy pulled in to race his car in the top alcohol dragster class. But I don't think anything that he's done has spelled success as much as one singular event in his life, and that was becoming a grandfather. Because I don't believe since he's become a grandfather, anybody's beaten him for the Lucas Oil World Championship. And he and his wife, Gloria, and they have the pictures of the kids on the side of the race car yesterday. And he'll tell you right now, it's hard to tell what he likes to talk about more, about racing his car or about talking about spoiling the grandkids. And that is something that he and I have in common, because it's great to spoil the grandkids. Ladies and gentlemen, proud to present the driver of the Rizlone machine out of Michigan and your 3-time Lucas Oil Top Alcohol Dragster champion, Mr. Bill Reichert.
What's that? I'm awful nervous, so I'll make this short, but I want to thank my sponsors first, Bars, Leaks, and Rislone. They've been with me for a long time and have made my career in racing. Those guys are really great. They love racing as much as I do, and they're always so real supportive. They help me out whenever they can. And I need to thank my friends and family, my wife, Gloria. They're all a part of our crew, and they all work very hard, and they make sure we've got a car that can win races. And NHRA and Lucas Oil, I'd like to thank both of them. And I keep saying, just like the other guys, but it's hard not to. Just thank you a lot. I never dreamed I'd be up here for the third year to win a national championship. That is an amazing thing for us. We just never dreamed it would go this far. But we've had a lot of fun doing it, made a lot of good friends, and are happy to be here. Thank you.